Good afternoon, students. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about concept of morality. In the previous lecture, as you know, that we have discussed about we conduct ourselves. So, in this lecture, this will be an extension of the same. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about first what is morality, what is all about, what is the basic concept behind morality, then various definitions of it, then what is the difference between an immoral versus an immoral individual. There's a difference between the terms immoral and immoral, what the main points are. Then what are the factors which influence the moral behavior? What are the factors which leads to the different kind of behaviors? And where does morality come from? What is the origin? Who teaches us this morality? Then what are the different point of views? What are the different point of views and what causes different point of views? Then different steps required in moral decision making, then understanding the process of moral decisions. So what is moral? What do you understand by the term morality? What do you understand by the term morals? So it is concerned with the principles of right and wrong, right and wrong behavior, and the goodness and badness of human character. Basically, we know that there are certain things which are considered to be right by the society, and there are certain things which are considered to be wrong. But who tells you about this right and wrong? There's something which is considered to be good or bad. If somebody who is smoking, that person is considered to be a bad person. The one who is very religious, who prays oftenly, that person is considered to be a good person. So who decides who is the one who is deciding what is right or wrong? So there are various theories which has come out in the support or favor or against of the this moral principles or morality, the concept of morality. But as of now, there is no concrete evidence or theory which gives you concrete principles that this is what makes the things right or wrong. So when we counter moral situations, we can act either in the way that we know is right, or we can do the opposite and act in a way that is supposed to be or known to be wrong. So when you are in a moral situation, whether and you have to make a decision whether to go this way or that way, so that lies herein lies the answer what is morality. Now, the earlier definition was taken from the Oxford Dictionary. Now comes the Stanford Encyclopedia. According to a Stanford Encyclopedia, in the normative sense, morality refers to the code of conduct. Code of conduct, we have discussed in the previous lecture, means the behavior that would be accepted by anyone who meets certain intellectual and volitional conditions. The one who meets, again I'm emphasizing on intellectual and volitional conditions, almost always including the conditional conditions of being rational, which means these are certain kind of behaviors which are accepted by anyone who behave in certain intellectual or volitional conditions, almost always where even in the situations which are considered to be rational. So this is all about morality. What makes the things right or wrong? This is judged by society. So now what is the difference? Although we have discussed that the one who does anything wrong after knowing that what is right or wrong is said to be an immoral person. Now what is the difference between amoral and immoral? Amoral is the one Amoral is the one which lacks the moral sense completely or indifferent to morality, which means that person does not care that what is right or wrong. He does not even want to know. He does something which he likes, things which pleases him, or which he does not do things which he dislikes. So immoral is the one who is not bothered about that what is set by the society as right or wrong. Whereas immoral is the one person, individual, who knows what is right and wrong, but still he continues to do things which are wrong, which means evil acts. Amoral indicates a neutral position towards morality. As I told you, that they're not bothered to know that what is right or wrong. They do things only which pleases them. So they are in a neutral position. Okay, whereas immoral indicates negative implications. They know that this is harmful, this is evil, but they still continue to do it. So this show a negative personality. This implies negative personality. And amoral can be defined, can be used in relation to small children or people with cognitive disorders. So once you're growing up like small children, they're not aware of what is right and wrong. It is their experiences which teaches them that this is going to affect me or this is going to harm me positively or negatively. So small children who cannot make difference between what is right or wrong, basically such kind of behaviors are shown by small children. Also the elder group of people, like we know that elderly, as you age your cognition also declines. What is cognition? It is the state of, it is the combination of your judgment, your intelligence, your intellectual level, your perception, your intelligence, your orientation. So all those things combined together, they are called as cognition. So once anyone ages, like once you age, your cognition also decline, your judgment also declines. So small children and the ones which have cognitive disorder, maybe because of the age or maybe because of the underlying problem, maybe because of, let's just say, stroke, or they have Parkinson's or any other neurological disorders, those kind of individuals, they tend to develop amoral kind of personality. They only do things which pleases them. Whereas immoral can be used to describe wicked, cruel or unethical people. We have already told you that they are negative group of people who know the difference between right and wrong, but they still continue to do it, which means they have an evil mindset. They're wicked. They know that this is going to harm the others, but they still continue to do it. So, wicked, cruel, and unethical people. Why the word unethical is being used here? Again, we've discussed ethical and morals. These are the terms which can be used interchangeably. So, unethical means the ones who does not follow the moral principles set by the society or the societal guidelines. So, amoral was introduced to language in the 19th century, whereas immoral has been introduced in the history long ago, like before 19th century only. It is known to the world since ages. So these are the major differences between amoral versus immoral. Now, what are the factors which influence moral behavior? We have known that there are societal guidelines, but what factors basically determines your behavior? What are the factors which can influence your behavior? First is the consequences. The consequences means it is your experience. Let's just say you know that having an ice cream in cold weather is going to give you a sore throat or bad lungs, or smoking is injurious to health. So once only you see someone else experiencing the same, or the consequence will teach you that in future you learn that you will not be repeating the same again. So the consequence, that what will happen if they do it or they don't do it. Like we teach children not to do it because this is going to burn, not to touch anything which is hot, not to touch an iron board. So why? Because they're going to get burned. Only when they touch it, they get to know that it is going to harm them. So next is their emotions. We are different group of people, like we've discussed. We have different IQs. Similarly, we have different EQs. EQ is your emotional quotient. IQ is your intelligence quotient. EQ is your emotional quotient. So everybody has different emotional personality. Some are more emotional than the other. Some things from their heart. Others, we generally use this word na, that he takes decision, he follows his heart, the other person follows his mind. So we have different EQs. So how will they feel about their decision afterwards? Since you have taken a decision, for example, now talking correlating morality with your physiotherapy. For example, if a patient has come to you, okay, he is otherwise regularly on time, but then that particular day you also had another appointment set, but and that person, your earlier patient, is also late by half an hour. Okay, so you refuse to see him, but then you're regretting it later. Why? Because you know that the reason which he gave for coming late was genuine. He was probably stuck in traffic, or he was not feeling well, or there was some genuine reason. So once you have taken the decision and then you're feeling bad about it, this is your EQ, your emotional, this is part of your personality. Next factor is the situation, the moral situation. We'll be discussing about various moral situations. Okay, so the situation you are in, the background of the situation, it may vary from time to time or situation to the other. Then what are the laws and rules? We have discussed that this right and wrong is determined by the society. These guidelines has been set by the society. If a girl leaves its home or he is out in the dark, say after 9 o'clock, she's said to be a bad person. Okay, she's not following the norms of the society. So this has been set by, this is by the society. Okay, or if there's a rule, if there's a law that you cannot, that there is a law, for example, that you're supposed to wear a helmet when you're riding a bike, and you're not doing it knowing the fact that you will be breaking the law, so that nature will be immoral. Next is authority. Authority is the one who is in charge, the one, if someone orders them or forces them to do it. For example, my authority, if you're coming to the university and university does not allow you to leave the campus during the class timings, this means this is the law, this is the rule set by the authority you're working under. Then the common practice. Common practice, like for example, everybody else is doing. For example, I'm just giving you another example. If you're coming to, let's just say one day you come to college and you got to know that your one or two lectures, your class teacher is not well, so for some reason your class has been cancelled, but you're not allowed to leave the premises of university premises, but you were seeing that your friends are going, they're bunking the class and they're going out to see a movie. So you think that everybody else is doing it, let me also try this time. So this is common practice. Common practice means whether or not everyone is doing it or not. You otherwise could not do it, but then you see that others are doing it. This is common practice. Then last comes your concise. Concise is something you're conscious. What does your conscious say? That this is right or wrong. For example, you have seen that somebody was walking in front of you and then he dropped a, let's just say 500 rupee note. You have seen that he only dropped it, but then you go and pick it up and put it in your pocket and then you feel bad afterwards. This is your concise, this is your conscious, which tells you that you have done something wrong. But if you still do it, which means you are an immoral person. If you call that person up and then return his 500 rupees to him and telling him that you dropped it by mistake, it is your conscious which told you to do it. So this is also your personality. Then, where does morality come from? How did it get originated? In a child, how does morality come into the picture? It is the home and the family. It is your parents, your family which teaches morality. Who tells you right and wrong? It is the parents. From the very beginning only they teaches child, even they before going to the school or the playway, or it is your mother, it is your father who tells you not to do this because this is wrong, and to do this, right, because this is right. So home and family play an important part in influencing your moral outlook. It is basically your upbringing. Okay, you've seen your parents taking right decisions, so you are also motivated by doing right decisions, right things. Our parents were the first people who teaches us. Then next comes your friends and peer group. Okay, after you develop, then you interact with other children around, maybe in school or in college. So your friends, you see that, for example, your best friend is very studious. He learns to spend time with books. He is reading all the time. So you're motivated by the his or her behavior directly or indirectly, or their acts which he or she does. So you are somehow directly or indirectly also doing the same. And then look at it the other way. For example, your best friend is not studious at all. He likes to go out, spend time, party. So directly or indirectly you are motivated to go out, spend time. Okay, so it is your friends, your circle, which we call societal circle, your peer group, which influence your moral behavior. Then next comes, after your parents, your family, your home, then your friends and peer group, next comes your religion and church. So all the religions, we live in a secular world. India is a secular country. So your religion, be it Islam, be it Sikhism, Hinduism, Jainism, whichever, all what they teach you is how to manage moral situations. What to do in manage moral situations. What your religion teaches you, to do right, not to do anything which is wrong. So people's moral outlook is strongly influenced by the religion, your religious books. Okay, maybe Guru Granth Sahib, Bible, so Quran, all those things, what they do is they teaches you good things in life, that how to give the keep the positive moral outlook. Many young people go to school with the religious ethos, where are others who are educated in faith. Then after religion and church, next comes the society and state, which you are part of, the society which you are living in, the neighborhood, or maybe the state. State means here the authority, like the government of India, or the state government, which sets up certain rules. We have already given you example. For example, I told you, if a girl is leaving and is wearing short clothes, she's going out in the dark after 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., she's considered to be bad. Why? Because this is a societal norm. Okay, she's wearing short clothes, which means it is not right. She's a bad person. So, state plays an important role. So, naturally, since birth only, you develop this feeling that the one who wears short skirts or maybe short clothes is a bad person. Then last and not the least comes your emotions. I've already told you it is your emotional quotient. Okay, your EQ, which determines your personality. So this can be a positive, this can play an positive impact on in situations which are moved by the sympathy. There's a feeling of sympathy, there's a feeling of empathy. You have seen somebody in a very grief state, so you feel bad for them, and then you're motivated to help them. Okay, so you're said to be a moral person. Okay, wherever there can have negative outcomes as well. For example, you're driven by your anger, by hatred about certain situations, so your emotions also play a very important role in developing this moral outlook. Then what is point of view? What is point of view? Everybody has their own point of view. Okay, so from this image you can see that this person is considering it to be a 6, which is right, and the other person is seeing it as a 9, which is also true. Okay, so they are believing on their own perspective, both are right, but from his point of view, the black guy, his point of view, he is wrong. Okay, why? Because he is seeing it as a 6. The other person thinks that he is wrong. He doesn't even know that this is 9. Okay, so we all have different point of view. Nobody is wrong. It is your upbringing, it is your family, religion. There are several factors which let you to have a set of view. Then in the other picture you can see that this is the king and these are the common people. Okay, once we gain power, like we are in a more upper situation, so we believe that our point of view is better than, or they are not able to understand your point of view. So he says try to see things from my point of view. He imposes his point of view on the others, which is not right. Then what are the steps involved in moral decision making? We have, when you are in a moral situation, what will you do to make a decision, a moral decision? So you can approach the situation in a two way. First, in this left diagram, first is to collect information. Okay, the next you have identified. First is the analysis of the problem, identification of the problem, which situation you are in. Okay, first analyze the situations. What are the pros? What are the cons? What will happen? What are the consequences? So then state the options. If you do this, what will happen? If you do this, what will happen? If you do this, what will happen? So what are the options which are available to you? Then apply ethical principles. We have discussed in the previous lecture various ethical principles: respect, altruism, judgments. Okay, so now apply. Given the, you have now seen that, analyze the situation, you have seen that these are the options available. Next what you can do is apply your ethical principles. What does your rule book says? That if you do this, will it be right? Or if you do that, that will be right. Then make a decision and implement the decision. This is one way of doing it. Okay, the other way is although similar way. Okay, first recognize that there is a ethical question. Again analyze that what is the question, what are the facts of the situation. Okay, analyze the problem, analyze the moral situation thoroughly. Then understand the options available. Then understand that what are going to be the consequences. Supposedly there are three paths which are available, A, B, C. What if I'll choose A? What will happen if I choose B? What will happen if I choose C? Okay, understand the consequences. Or the next is test the option you plan to take. You can also do one thing, that you can test the option. Okay, supposedly you're planning, you're thinking of choosing the path A. You can test it by choosing once. Okay, later next time also when you are in a same situation, you know that what happened last time when you chose A. So this time you'll be more careful. If it was productive, it was fruiting, so you will choose A only. It was counterproductive, then you'll choose B or C. So this is how your experiences teaches you. Then explain the option you have decided on to and act on the chosen option. If there's anything you can ask me. So we have discussed that morality is concerned with what is morality. These are the societal guidelines which are the code of conduct in which one is expected to behave, to choose right or wrong behavior, goodness or badness. They are all part of human character. We have also discussed the difference between moral and immoral. Then what are the factors which influence moral behavior? Okay, like consequences, laws, state. Where does morality come from? From your family, from home, then your friends, your peer group, okay, your religion, your state, okay, and emotions. We have discussed point of views. How can one's point of view be different from the others? Then what are the steps involved in moral decision making? And then moral situations in practice questions. Okay, so I think it is clear to you.